My name is Priyanthi Fernando. I'm the outgoing director of the Center for Poverty Analysis in Colombo, Sri Lanka. Well, I think there's 43 southern think tanks at this meeting, and I think that is really quite stupendous because I think the ambition of the 43 southern think tanks, so it might be asking a lot, is to be able to set the global agenda for development research. There's a lot of pressure to actually look at research quality in terms of how much research uptake there is. The head of GDN said, what's the point of dissemination or shaping policy with poor quality research? So what he's saying is that you need to do good quality research if you want to change policy. But I think policy change comes about by lots of different reasons. It could be influenced by lots of other types of knowledge. It could be influenced by the credibility of the research institution. And then there is this whole idea of cognitive dissonance, which is about what if your research findings do not really mesh with the orientation or the political agenda of the policymakers. So the policymakers reading your research are going to feel slightly uncomfortable with this difference, and there's a chance then that they will there's a chance that they will take it up and be enlightened and whatever, but there's also a chance that they will disregard it or try to negate the value of it because it just doesn't fit in their agenda. There are different ways of getting knowledge into the policy process, and one way is to directly interact with the policymakers, but the other is to actually influence the policymakers' constituency. And I think if you can create a groundswell of opinion in the direction that you want, then I think there is a better chance, and it's always a chance of you getting into that. Getting your recommendations through, or the change you want through to the policymakers. For example, in Sri Lanka, what has happened recently is we've changed our government, but the previous government, because of their relationship, they started a very extravagant port city project, which circumvented some of the environmental impact assessments, etc. And so, and all for political reasons, and the political reasons related with Sri Lanka's relationship to China. Now there's a huge groundswell in Colombo that this port city project should not go through. Now, now the competing pressures on the new government is the relationship with China, so the geopolitical relationships, as well as the groundswell of their supporters not really wanting this project to go through without action, and also the fact that the proper evidence in terms of its environmental impact is not really still out there in the public domain. I think what I would like to be able to take home is the possibility of collaborating with these think tanks, or some of them, not all 43 obviously, but with some of them on issues that are common to each of us, or to some of us, because I think collectively working on an issue relating to what is happening globally in the discourse of development might actually enable us to change or have an impact on that discourse.